Welcome to the dark side. We have beer. Hey, welcome to this episode of Cat Drinks Beer. I've decided to bring Eric back because he's my buddy.
Oh, thank you.
And I enjoy drinking with him. So in this episode, we are going to be drinking some beer and eating some chocolate on some recommended pairings that I came across on the internet, because everything on the internet is the truth.
Confirmed.
So we are going to decide whether or not it is really a fact by trying some beer and chocolate pairings. I've got 5 different beers. I have 5 different chocolates. And we are going to be judge, jury, and executioner to decide which ones maybe you want to bring with you on your Valentine's Day date here. I don't know. Not all the ladies love wine. Some of us ladies like beer.
Yeah.
Or it's a great way to impress ya man with some beer and chocolate pairings. Eric and I have these beautiful heart glasses that we will be trying our samples in. We're going to taste and try and give our thoughts. Pairing number 1 we have here is Left Hand's Milk Stout. Now, these tend to be sweeter beers, so the pairing that was suggested was a dark chocolate. So you've got a little bit more of a bitterness here with the dark chocolate to sort of combat some of the oversweetness of the beer here. So let's give them a try. All right, we have our dark chocolate, our milk stout. Let's pair them together. Do you ever know which order to eat them in?
I don't.
Eat it and then drink, or drink and then eat?
We'll do 1, 2, 1.
Sounds good.
That is very sweet and smooth.
Very sweet and smooth. Milky. It's milk stout.
That works.
It works really well. It really does if you're not a super big fan of like the bitterness or sometimes that sort of dry dark chocolate flavor. It really sweetens up a little bit with the milk stout, but if you are not a huge fan of the super sweetness of the milk stout, it kind of tones the sweetness of the milk stout down. They balance each other out really nicely.
Yeah.
So, the next combination we have is Bell's Two Hearted. Bell's Two Hearted is an IPA. It is a very strong, hoppy beer. These tend to be quite bitter. I know these are Eric's absolute favorite thing in the entire world.
You just had to put one in there for me, didn't you?
I try to get one in every time just to see if maybe I can find one that doesn't make you gag.
It's futile.
The chocolate that we have to go with it here is a sea salt chocolate. It is a milk chocolate, so it is a sweeter chocolate with a hint of saltiness to it. That is supposed to help balance out the bitterness of the IPA, so maybe we'll find a combination you like. And the salt there is also, salt is actually a flavor enhancer, so that is also going to help bring the two together a little bit. You don't have to go with a salted chocolate. That was just one of the recommendations for an IPA, is something that is a milk chocolate with spice or a milk chocolate with salt, or just a straight up milk chocolate to help balance out the bitterness.
I can definitely smell it. I can definitely smell it.
Try it without first. You get a little bit of fruitiness off of it, though?
Yeah, I do get the fruitiness. It's just I gotta wade through musk and skunk. I'm probably losing a lot of all one of my
IPA.
fans.
I know you have one fan. I was told by one of my subscribers that they dig when Eric's on the show.
All right.
Wow. I think that almost takes the bitterness out of it.
It does help.
The front is still kind of bitter, but overall, it kind of gets rid of that bitter flavor in your mouth.
The back isn't bitter. That's for IPAs. That's what gets me, is I can taste it on the back of my tongue
For a long time.
For a long time, I can still taste it there. When I have the chocolate in my mouth, that masks it.
Yeah.
And the chocolate has its own taste, which helps.
Right, and the saltiness too in this, it really does enhance the combination. You get a little bit more of that floral, fruity flavor out of the IPA rather than it just being kind of a hot bomb. And then it really also, the creaminess of the chocolate's really excellent. Right. That was one of the combinations that I was the most skeptical about, because I really didn't think there was anything you could pair with an IPA.
IPAs are not traditionally, so you pour sweet stuff with citrus, sure, sweet.
It just didn't seem like a natural combination. It seemed like something that perhaps they were really pulling my chain on, or like really stretching to kind of make a match, because they know people like IPAs, but pleasantly surprised by that one. The Oma Gang, this is their Abbey Ale. It is a double. This is a super amazing dark chocolate. So your double here is going to be very rich in itself, but the bitterness is the extreme bitterness of this is supposed to kind of mellow some of it out a little bit, if I'm understanding what I read correctly. Okay, we're gonna try now. I feel like this might be like the milk stout, where this dark is gonna balance out the sweetness of the double.
I know it's sexy watching me chew like that.
Me too. Let me just get the chocolate all over my face. I feel like the alcohol comes out a little bit more with the chocolate.
I would agree with that.
It gets a little bit more of that astringent-y, alcohol-y flavor.
I think while the IPA is never going to be my favorite beer, the effect the chocolate had on it was much more vivid than it is with this.
Right. There's not a huge difference between just the chocolate on its own and just the beer when you combine the two. I think it changes the flavor of the beer a little bit.
Yeah, there's definitely a difference, but it's not as vivid of a difference
as with that IPA.
Right.
I'm a little disappointed in this one. Our next pairing is this Rodenbach, which is a Flemish red, and we have some Ghirardelli chocolate caramel mixture of goodness. Now, the effect that we're supposed to be getting here, the original suggestion was for like a nut brown ale, but they also suggested possibly a Flemish red. And so I'm not entirely certain what we're gonna get out of this, but we'll find out if it's good or not. It does cut down on a bit of that sour beer taste. Which, if you're not a super fan of sour beers, which you should be.
You should be, yeah. They're the best kind.
You should be. It kind of mellows out some of that, the really, really biting, vinegary, sour taste that some people get. So far, this is the most, like, desserty pairing. Like, if you're looking for, like, a red wine and chocolate type feel, this one's pretty good for that. Right now, this is, like, candles lit going down the hallway leading to the bedroom on Valentine's evening.
Oh, that's hot.
Right? Our final pairing for this evening here is this Lindemann's Framboise Lambic. This is any chocolate goes beer.
This is the beer that you trick non-beer drinkers into drinking beer with. This is Chocolate brand, 65% cocoa content.
I think this is one of the ones that cheats and has a cork in it too.
Uh-oh.
Do you not have a cork?
Oh, I got something. We can make it work.
Who does this? Who does this?
Alright, so I don't own a corkscrew because I drink beer
And not wine.
Beer doesn't have corks in it.
Except it's Lindemann's, apparently.
Yeah.
But after a bit of trial and error and internet exploring and... What did we do?
We tried a screw, we tried a knife.
A knife.
I didn't hit it against the wall because I have neighbors. Then we ultimately pushed the cork in with a screwdriver. So we're going to find out if there's as much corkiness as 90s television show life goes on.
So we're back to the ginger dark chocolate, right?
Yeah.
I know what this tastes like. I like it.
Oh man. I'm not sure if I love the combination or if I just love both of these equally.
Oh.
But I love what's happening regardless. I could drink lambic all day. It's like candy. It's like soda that gets me drunk.
This really brings out the super tartness of the raspberry. It doesn't bring out this. I mean, the sweetness is there. It's a lambic, but it really brings out kind of that really tart raspberry flavor, which I dig. If you're not a big fan of the tart raspberry, then maybe this isn't the pairing for you. So the last pairing, I'm gonna say, is your foreplay. You bring the guy home, you show him candlelit visage, and you give him some Rodenbach with caramel. Or her. Woo your lady, woo your man, woo your partner who likes beer. And you're like, yum, this is delicious. It's caramel and it's chocolate and it's And then you show up in the bedroom with this. And some really good chocolate. And then you get it on.
Alright, that sounds like a fun night to me.
Right? So overall, what do you think here? Which surprised you the most? Which did you not care for?
The pale ale surprised me the most in that I didn't want to spit it back up when the chocolate was involved.
I got close to winning if I added chocolate.
So, The chocolate made that work. The milk stout was very workable.
Pretty classic, what I would expect from this sort of pairing.
I think the biggest, the one I liked best overall was the Rodenbach.
In the caramel chocolate?
Right, just because I wasn't sure how it would turn out.
Yeah.
The lambic and the ginger...
You kind of knew how that story was going to end.
That's all you got all my favorite stuff into one thing. So I knew how that was going to go.
Yeah.
So that wasn't a surprise. It was good, but it wasn't a surprise.
No surprise, yeah. I think my biggest surprise, too, was definitely the Two-Hearted with the salted chocolate. I highly recommend, if you're an IPA lover, try that one out. If you're not quite an IPA lover because of the bitterness of an IPA, try it out, because it was really surprising. Here you go, some ideas for you to change up the classic champagne or wine on your Valentine's night. Try some beer and try some chocolate.
I think that's it. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Let us know if you try any of these, or if you have some other pairing that you've tried that you like. I would love to hear more excuses to drink beer and eat chocolate.
I'm cool with that too. This was a really fun experiment. Anyway, guys, like, comment, subscribe. Give me a thumbs up on this if you enjoyed this video. I'd love to keep making things that interest you. Subscribe so you know when new things are going to happen. And comment to let me know about, what you did like, what you didn't like, and if you tried this on your own. And until next time, we're just going to sit here and keep on drinking.
We'll see you in the next one.
See you guys.